Yeah. That's right, man. It's tough to do with the good attitude. I just don't have it in me, man. I don't have it in me to do my goofy voices or any of the animated. I don't have it in me. Um, so welcome in, folks. I don't even feel like doing the intro. Hit subscribe if you like what we do here. And more importantly, go to Patreon, promo code Irish, and watch all the film breakdown of everything going wrong. I honestly think that's the healthiest thing you could do is watch our experts break down the film. And rather than just feel bad about what happened, try and figure out exactly why it happened. But I'm not even in the mood to do my goofy voices. You're 0-2 and you're 0-3 if you go back to last year. Like, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So being the voice of the fan, being the show in this niche and the content guy that caters to the fans more than anybody else, with the call-in show right after the game, everybody's depressed, drunk and depressed, whatever. Being that that's my role, I had an obligation to go on Twitter and ask, how are you feeling, Notre Dame fans, after you're 0-2? So here's the deal. I got like 200 responses or something. I can't go through them all. We're just going to scroll through the top ones. I always try and do these without looking at them ahead of time to do it raw and real. I reserve the right to scroll past anything like graphic or really bad or vulgar or profane. So I don't know what I'm going to get here, but I just think it's an interesting social experiment to get a taste and a feel of where everybody's at. So let's get into this. I ask, with much trepidation, how are you feeling today, Notre Dame fans? All right, Matt. Not sure who to blame. Legacy media for putting lipstick on a pig during camp, the coordinators, lack of execution by players, or a mixed bag of all the above. I guess it all comes back to Freeman. He needs to step up, and figure it out. I have tickets to Arkansas and USC. Was hoping to be cheering for a playoff team that was undefeated. Today, these are now just games. The wins, if we win, it'll just be whatever. I understand the frustration. Era Parsegian. We've taken so many steps backwards on defense. I don't see how we can salvage anything for this season. Win out at this rate, we'll be lucky to have a winning record. And that's coming from Era Parsegian. Dave, honestly, just apathy. My man Lewis, 559 on the line. Pain. All I feel is pain. Tim Flynn. Sitting in silence, drinking my Bloody Mary, eating soulless pizza. Hey, do what you got to do. Craig, I feel cold. Mike, I feel betrayed, honestly. Fed absolute Kool-Aid during camp, have an imbecile imploding a championship defense, and have an average O-line coach who hasn't improved the talent. Canceled a subscription to the premium board because I'm done caring. Brutal. Ryan, feel like we sold that Ash's D won't miss a beat. We have missed several beats, several tackles, and picks. Anything can happen. Can we win out? Sure. Will we make it out of the first round? If we make it with this D right now, we'll get embarrassed. The playoff is the furthest thing from my mind. Super disappointed. Frustrating. Taking my dad to the Arkansas game for his birthday. Thought it was going to be an amazing ND weekend and part of an awesome season. Now it just feels like it'll be another nice father-son trip that happens to include a Notre Dame game. It sucks. Ash needs to go. Brendan McGrath, out. He's a Notre Damer stuck in LA. More than anything, just deflated. We can never have all things clicking all at the same time. I'd say it's the same old story, but this feels self-inflicted. We're 2-0 with last year's defensive leadership. Our stud players need to grow up fast, and the coaches need a reality check. KTD 45. Makes me more upset with how last season ended and wishing we seized the opportunity to win it all when we had a chance. The Natty seems farther away than ever now, which is depressing. Trying to go 10-2, I guess. That's a fair. I get it, man. Like, you wanted to think we'll be right back competing, and now it makes you feel even worse. You didn't get over the hump. Paul, I'm 50 and convinced I'll never see another title in my lifetime. Steve says this was after a bye week. Yeah, it is truly the bye week really makes this feel worse because you were like, okay, really shaky defense against Miami, but you have 2 weeks to be able to get it right, and you came out and looked worse. Sick to my stomach. Lawrence is jumping off the church tower, completely in shock because of the decisions to ruin your best asset on defense. Chris Trash lied and said it was a Notre Dame defense, but I will just make tweaks. He destroyed the Mike Mickens secondary work, and we're not running the offense Denbrock was doing at LSU. Oh, man. Matt, aren't nearly the team I thought they'd be, and it sucks. I feel nothing. A couple Pirates of the Caribbean references here. I'm feeling like we are last year's Florida State if this keeps going. Oh, boy. Rusty ears burying himself. There are no words. Angry and upset. Somebody needs to be held accountable for the horrible defense. And Freeman, I still love him, saying next man up. Okay. But when you run the same scheme, it doesn't matter. Marxist Freeman, I can predict where this one's going. I feel great. I called it the day after they fired Golden. Freeman failed epically. Even with the bye, they imploded. Terrible coaching. Oh, well, there's always the year Freeman is gone. Brutal. Over. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. ZB Snickers. Playoff hopes are still alive. How quickly we forget that OSU made the playoffs last year with a 1-point loss and a 3-point loss, and they got a home game. Yeah, but their defense didn't look like this in those losses. That's the difference. The way they looked in the losses is not this. Karen, crushed. 3 straight losses on the big stage. Natty no longer in contention. Winners find a way to win. Oh, man. Trying to remain optimistic. We very well could have lost 2 games against top 10 teams by a total of 4 points. But it's hard to be positive by how bad the defense has looked. The team lacks any leadership, and Freeman's accountability quotes are nice. The results aren't. Now this season is about reps for CJ. Yeah, you're not helping that young kid along with this defense. Think about it. He's trying to find his way as a new starter, and he feels the pressure to score every single drive. He feels like he needs to score a touchdown to save the day. That is not healthy. Frustrated and disappointed. Don't waste the season. Freeman's got to make a change mid-season here. I'd rather that than a wasted year trying to force Chris Ash just to get rid of him at the end of the year. Steve Angeli leading the nation in passing, and ND would be 2-0 if he was the quarterback despite the poor defense. Man, you're not losing because of the offense, I don't think. It's just hard to win anything with that defense, man. Jimmy, I love watching ND, period. Expecting a team that lost critical vets on D, a DC, and a starting QB to repeat last year was a lot. I lived through worse teams than this one. I'm going to enjoy every game regardless of record. Man, I do not have that in me. I do not have that in me. Chris, I ate everything right now, completely numb to the core. Tristan, it'd be interesting to know the true feelings of Coach Freeman. I would want to take more control in tough times. Freeman has had success letting coordinators run their side. I hope he offers himself as full-time service assistant defensive coordinator. He's got to get more involved. You can't let this go on any longer. Kevin, thank touchdown Jesus. Red October's right around the corner. Jonathan, season is now just developing. Fire Ash. Players are gone, so just play prep for next year. I know that's not what the coaches will say, but the defense is on a historically bad return around from last year, and there's no way to fix it after losing Watts, Mills, and Kaiser. Man, this is tough. Mouth of the Midwest. I feel fine. Marcus gets it. CJ is young. He's going to be asked to win a game late, just like he has for the past 2 weeks. But this time he's going to do it, and then it's just a thing moving forward. The defense needs to help. Christian seems like he's not playing up to his level. Yeah, Gray has really struggled. Not good at all. Like my dog died. Like I've been dumped on my birthday. Good time to remind everybody, the morning after we lost to Ohio State in the championship game, I had to go put one of my dogs down. And in a way, it almost worked out. On the surface, that sucks, but I was already completely devastated, shattered, exhausted, and had no emotions left. So I could argue that was the best day to put the dog down. To be honest, I was already miserable and distraught. Why not add that to the list? Freeman to Ash, please get him out of here. Almost impressed by the total implosion on defense year over year. Gotta believe it'd be hard to regress that much, even if we were trying to. Yeah, you literally went from like the best defense to the worst in a lot of categories. You almost have to try to be that bad. It's unbelievable. Brendan, disappointed in Freeman. Didn't make sure the defense stayed the same. Made a bad hire for DC. He's a defensive coach and should have seen this coming and corrected it in camp. Falls on him, and he's shaking my confidence. I miss 43. I refuse to get on the fire ass train, but the defense needs to show weekly improvement that is working. I do think the leash should be short. It's excel or leave. Plus, I don't understand how Mickens didn't get that job. Man, his group's struggling too. All that credit we gave Mickens, his group is struggling, bro. Rod, honestly upset. How did we go looking like a top defensive team to looking like garbage? 8-4 and going to the always Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl? Maybe. 8-4 seem you could lose any game playing this defense. I'm fine. The team had 4 sixth-year players matriculate out on D. They played that small scheme for too long. I expected. They ignored great running backs, tight ends, feature the pass game, and be modern. CJ Carr's good at football. Our offense is electric. Man, there's more positivity here than I thought, to be honest. Lucas, right after I say that, Lucas, devastated. With the defense that inept, we could lose any game on the schedule. What makes it worse is Ash inherited a top 5 defense. Yeah, that's my argument. There are no guaranteed wins you could look over when you're playing that way. None. You could lose to anybody. Actually, better than after Miami. Offensively, we took some steps. Reed is wildly inaccurate with the deep ball. He could add 5 more touchdown passes if he hit them wide open. They had wide receivers running wide open for big plays. He couldn't connect. This performance after an off week, piss poor. Predicted 10-2 after going 0-2. Who knows now? Or no, he's saying predicted 10-2 if we went 2-0. Last night was tough. In my opinion, we have an OC and a DC problem. Running the Wildcat multiple times. No D since 08-ish. Have been surprised by it. Well, what do you mean no D since 08-ish? Last year was a good D. The D looked lost and overwhelmed. We have elite talent, and it seems to be being wasted. Joey, remember when Indy had the best chance of going undefeated and the defense was only going to give up 14.5 points per game? That went to hell. Yeah, the computer model showed Notre Dame averaging giving up 14.5 points a game. Ted, bro, it's bad. Even with the close losses. What shows up on the field is so much worse than any of us could have imagined. Freeman needs to be real honest with himself, make some tough choices. Buying out Ash needs to be done now. Finish with 4 losses. Recruiting ends up around 15, 16. Yep. Nobody wants to hear it. But what good high school defense player wants to play in this defense the way it looks? That is a tough, almost impossible sell to top athletes. You got to think about that. All we have is hope to beat USC. And with our defense, I wouldn't bet on it. They could throw for 900 yards against Notre Dame, USC. They literally could throw for 900 yards the way we've been playing. Not looking forward to it. Shane, if it's true that Freeman questions everything, he needs to question his defensive hire. They lost 3 on defense from last year, and it's turned into this. You should be able to win by scoring 33 offensive points and a defensive TD at home. Yep. Ready to move on to hockey season. Being at this place now, 0-2, looking for a future solution. A few things come to mind. Freeman needs to humble himself and admit Ash was a bad hire. Do not front load the schedule, as we don't know what we have as a team till midway through the season. Yeah, that's being talked about. It's a tough start. But when you're independent, a lot of those conference schools can only play you or tell you they can only play you early in the year before they get into conference play. It's tough. Keith, defense sucks. Ash sucks. The end. Drew, leave Buckner alone. Carr is awesome. KVA played well. Leonard Moore is essential. Love and Price dangerous. I still believe in Freeman. There's some positivity. Wheeler, feels like crap to validate the narrative that ND can only compete for a championship once a decade instead of reloading and competing every year. Fair. Rodell, I felt better. Primal screaming session outside the D Bartololo Center at noon. Empty. On to deer hunting season. There's a healthy outlet in nature. I got nothing. The refs suck. I know I'm not supposed to blame the refs, but I'm still saying they suck. EJSJR. I don't care what Marcus says or does publicly, but if he does what needs to be done about Chris Ash, I'm still optimistic we can go 10-0 the rest of the season. Whether that's good enough to make the playoffs or not, I don't know. Todd, John, I've been a fan since 89. Been saying the 20 years, if you don't get 5 stars yearly on D-line, O-line skill positions, we're always on the outside looking in. Let down. Freeman set the program back with this terrible Ash hire. It is what it is. Chris Ash calling the defense is awful. Everything sucks. Everything hurts. The world is ending. I need a new hobby. Chris Ash deserves felony charges for what he's done to the defense. K. Fred. Perhaps Notre Dame should join a strong conference, one with multiple top 25 teams. Iron sharpens iron. Cherry picking your way to a winning season is somewhat of a house of cards. Man, I just feel like regardless of who you play, like you just have to be better than this. Whether you're in a conference or independent, having this defense, it doesn't really matter. I would be better off without football. The Irish are 0-2. My Chiefs are 0-2. The Royals are all but eliminated from the playoffs. I guess I'll be a much more productive person in these fall weekends. I wonder if Marcus is even aware of the BVG experiment. Guys actually coaching and playing sometimes seem to be unaware of history. Brian Kelly being astonished and unprepared for the hostility of Miami in 17, still scratching my head. Pure unbridled rage, fire Ash immediately. I don't let 20-year-olds dictate my happiness. I still eating steak today despite this calamity. Did you see the Pete Sampson post about CJ's stance per snap? Yeah, apparently we're tipping whether it's a run or a pass. Not ideal. It's all the defense. Wipe it clean. Angry and sad. Carr is on the right track, having played 2 top 25 teams in the first 2 games. A lot to learn, but the future looks bright. Defensive secondary, not what was advertised. Tough. It's going to be a tough remainder of the season. Stick together. John Mack says, seek Jesus, and is trolling us with a Texas A&M jersey on Touchdown Jesus. And winners get to do what winners get to do. I can't be mad at it. We deserve it. Score 40 at home and you can't win. You deserve all the trolling you get. Our hopes for the playoffs are done. The defense looks terrible. Joseph, I have no words. So upset I couldn't sleep. Still riled up today. What in God's name are you doing using that Wildcat? The mistakes are too numerous. Tim Miles. The program is at a crossroads. Ash won't get fired, but his responsibilities need to be offloaded to others behind the scenes immediately. Freeman's got his career on the line. This is a way bigger debacle than most realize or are willing to admit. It's dangerous. Back to being concerned about Freeman. The 24th season is a significant outlier. He's awful in September. Fire Ash now. Ash should be fired. Elevate Mickens. Numb, nauseated. Fire Ash. Woof. Oh, man. I think Love should have taken a dive before the goal line in his TD play. We gave too much time to a team we knew we couldn't cover. The defense is god-awful. Can't get any pressure, leading to the large chunk plays through the air because we can't play man. Tackling has been bad. We don't have the guys up front, and the play calling doesn't help. Absolutely brutal. All right, you guys. So there's a little sampling of the Twitter reaction. Not as vulgar and profane as I was expecting. And there was actually a few people that are trying to find some positives there. But the elephant in the room is that defense. Carr's going to get better. You like your backs. The offensive line is they're starting to come together and look a little better. I think they look way better against A&M than Miami. Not perfect, though. But if that defense doesn't get fixed, you're just screwed. Like, it's just got to get so much better to even be mediocre average. And if it doesn't get there, you're just screwed. You're in a bad spot. So thanks to everybody that responded. Very, very fun just to get a sampling there. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.